Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we're going to go over the best weapons in wrestling. This is kind of one of those things where it kind of just depends on the match and the the person and a lot of different things. So we're going to do the best way we can of putting it in this tier list. We're trying to make them as even as possible. I feel like we have a little bit too many categories. I'm going to just delete the good. I don't think that really matters. And we'll go from there. Yeah, so we'll try to have them as even as possible. So we got the 2x4. I mean, this feels kind of odd to put in here just because, like, I don't think it's been used, like, really at all other than just by Jim Duggan. Like I can't think of any other time that it's been a 2x4. I guess I'd put it in mid because it's a good weapon. It's just not used in anything. So I guess mid is okay because it's a good weapon but not used. Next up, we have a snake. Obviously, Jake the Snake Roberts had it. Again, I don't think anybody else other than him has ever had that. So I think it makes it kind of rough to put in there. I guess I'll also put it in mid because it is a badass thing to pull out and let somebody get bitten by a snake. But I can't put it much higher because we only have one person. I don't think anybody else would have it because it would automatically be just like, oh, well, they're trying to be like Jake the Snake. So I don't know. Then we got the announcer table. I like the old announcer table when it broke. This one kind of just breaks apart like it's supposed to, and it feels like it's like a just like a prop table. I don't know why they did it that way. I'm gonna put it in great, but I don't think I could put it higher because I do like the old table better, and I don't think we'll ever get that. We get the cast. I think it's very just gimmicky. I don't think it's the worst thing that we've ever seen. Maybe I don't know. Actually, thinking about it, I'll put it in bad, but I would have to reserve the right to put it lower if I feel like it. Barbed wire. I guess it's like how is it used because like barbed wire around like a bat or like a 2x4 is a little bit better, which I see down here on the edge thing. So I guess we'll just put it as just regular barbed wire. I think we've seen it used in other stuff. I think it's pretty mid. It definitely is one of those things that looks badass, but like it's not as crazy. I guess I don't know. It's hard to say because like I don't want to like judge it if there's any. I haven't looked at any of the other weapons. I don't know if there's anything else that's like more barbed wire oriented. I think I would just slide it up a little bit higher than for the time being. Next up is a bat. I feel like this is not really used. Like we had it like used in like video games and stuff, but I don't think we've ever really seen it used that often. I think it's kind of hard to fake a bat hit, so it makes it a little bit harder. I'll put it in great because it is an interesting weapon, but I don't think you get to use it that often. Next up is a nightstick. I feel like it only works if it's a like for the gimmick or if you've taken it off the security guard like Eddie Guerrero has done before. Other than that, it feels kind of random, so I'm gonna put it in mid. A bowling ball is kind of insane. I feel like I've only ever seen it used like in like a street fight match, and it just kind of feels completely out of character. So I'm gonna put it in bad. It is comical, but not super great. Next up is the brass knuckles. I think this is pretty common. We had William Regal use it and Logan Paul recently. Um, I think it's a pretty good weapon. Next up is the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it's absolutely great to use it, especially when it leaves dents in it that you see over time as it stays around and shows how much damage it's taken on its journey to get cashed in. I think it's kind of a goaded weapon, to be honest. Next up is a broom. I honestly have never seen that in a wrestling match. I don't know why. I feel like it wouldn't really be that much. Next up is a cattle prod. Now, this is an amazing weapon, but it is a wild weapon to use. I guess they must have used it in some like type of death match type wrestling. I'm gonna put it in amazing because that is kind of brutal. Next up is a chainsaw, and I'm gonna put it in trash as not being that it's a bad weapon. It just doesn't make sense to be in wrestling because you can't really do much with it. It's definitely scary, but it's a chainsaw. Like, yeah, obviously you can't use it. Next up is the steel chair. It's just iconic, man. A chair shot, especially back in the day when they used to do the headshots, which I'm glad they don't do, but it does look really good. You got to put it up in the goaded. Next up is hitting somebody with the title. Honestly, Like I have this title, like the legit one, and it is heavy as hell. And like my partner, when they were wrapping it for Christmas, dropped it on themselves and it left a bruise. So it does make sense of being a brutal weapon, but man, sometimes these title shots look so dumb. I feel like when they bust open the person, they look a lot better, but if there's no blood, it just kind of feels like nothing happened. Like John Cena's been using it, and I think it just has made it go downhill. So I'm gonna put it in great because Cena's making it look really bad lately. Next up is just straight up pan. I don't really see that being anything too crazy. I just go bad. Cowbell, again, this seems more annoying than anything. I guess I put it in trash. Next up is a crowbar. I remember that being more useful and more like used late, like long ago. I don't think anybody uses a crowbar currently. I put it in mid. I mean, obviously it's a very nasty weapon, but like I just you don't really see it that much. Crutches. I mean, crutches are kind of cool because like it feels like they swing them really hard and they just bust and break. When a weapon kind of breaks, it also makes it feel like it's more brutal. So I'll put it up in great just because of the visual. This looks like it's like some type of dust or spray. I don't think I've this doesn't feel like it's used that often, so I guess I'd put it in mid. It's definitely debilitating, but I don't see it being as super crazy. Duct tape, I guess it's more of a deterrent and less of a weapon, so I'd put it in bad. Like getting duct tape to like the somewhere where you can't get loose is kind of crazy, but it also sometimes they always use it like so fast that sometimes the duct tape just barely looks like it's holding on. Hitting somebody with the fire uh, extinguisher. God, why my brain did not want to think of that word. Like when they shoot them with the smoke, it's kind of interesting, but it's not really like too crazy. Like I do like seeing it, but would I put it up in the goated? I don't think so. I maybe put a maybe. I'll put you know what? I'll put it in great, and I'll move the table up a little bit. Um, this was, I think, Darby Allin on those shards or like the panes of glass. I think it was just kind of insane. But it's not much of a weapon, but it's just kind of like maybe like a glass type table. Uh, I guess we'll put it in amazing. It felt very reckless when they did it, so I didn't like it super much because it did shoot everywhere. Just a straight up bottle. I don't think I've seen anybody hit with a bottle in a long time. Um, it is kind of brutal though, like to see somebody in it like smash all over the place. I think I'll put it in great. I like seeing it. The guitar shots are kind of epic. That's kind of a goated thing. Like especially Jeff Jarrett and stuff, or now with Elias. Sometimes it's just it feels wasteful with the guitar breaking, but also just kind of crazy to see. Handcuffs, another deterrent one, so it's kind of just bad. I don't really think it's anything crazy. The hockey stick, it's always kind of just used in very gimmicky ways. I'm not a huge fan, so I'd probably put it in mid. Next up is the kendo stick. I think it's just kind of iconic for a lot of people, like Sandman. I feel like the Cars Cheetah's also like that. I like it a lot. I don't think it's necessarily as deadly, but it's just something that I think of when I see those. I think of wrestling. Next, it was a literal kitchen sink. I don't think I've ever seen this. I guess I put it in mid because one, I've never seen it, and two, it would hurt. So it does make sense. Classic ladder. I think ladders obviously go up into goated. It's just too much to all the brutality in it. Next up is the laptop. I don't think I've seen this one. Seems kind of dumb and wasteful. The leather strap is absolutely brutal, especially when they use it on each other and like see the welds form. This is kind of a goated weapon. I don't really like strap matches necessarily, but sometimes when they're done right, they can be good. Legos, I think it's just kind of an iconic meme type thing of obviously stepping on Legos. It's kind of similar to a lot of other stuff that's like, you don't want to step on it. So I think they kind of have that feeling, and I think it's kind of fun. Put it in amazing. Next up is those fluorescent light bulbs. Now I'm not a big deathmatch wrestler, but when I see somebody get hit in the head with one of these, it does make me happy. So I'm gonna put up in the goaded. Metal pipe. It's kind of bland, but I mean it does do the job. I guess I'll put it in mid. The poison mist spray, or like the spray that Ashka, Tajiri, the Great Buddha, yeah, a lot of other people have done, even Nakamura. I love it. I think it's such a cool thing. I got to put it up in the goated thing. It's just such a wild game changer, but the miss of it, or like even just getting somebody, is just so great. Uh, Mankind sock puppet. I don't think it's anything. Next up is the ring bell. Now Eddie Guerrero used to use it a lot, and then I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it since, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. But I guess I put it in mid. It was definitely brutal, but like again, it's not anything crazy. The screwdriver, like Moxley uses a lot, and like kind of stabs into somebody's head with it. It it doesn't look great, but also does look a little more brutal than others' things. I guess I put it in great. The shillelagh, with Sheamus has used it, and I think what is it? Finley and stuff has used it. I think it's pretty brutal. I mean, it's a real weapon, so I put it up in amazing. It's obviously like kind of gimmicky to like certain people, but yeah. Next up is this like wooden bamboo like skewers, and they like skewer the head. I honestly just not really into it. It's just kind of looks dumb 90% of the time. Most of them are barely sticking in. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. Next up, we got the jackhammer. It's kind of iconic to Triple H, and it always felt super brutal to see. So I'm gonna put it up in amazing. Now we got this freaking bar. What is it, like a 2x4 with a bunch of nails sticking in it? This is the thing that got stuck in Moxley's back. I did not like that spot. That was pretty brutal. I guess I have to put it up in amazing, but I don't want to see that. Next up is a staple. Yeah, you just gotta straight up take this. This isn't anything that could be faked or anything. And they do a lot in AEW. It's kind of a staple over there. You get it, but it is. I guess you could put it up to goated. Next up is chains. We haven't seen chains in a bit. Nobody's really uses them. They always seem a little bit like pretty great, but like it's hard to say. Like they really have to be done well and used well. The steel of the steps I think is pretty great. I'm gonna put it up in amazing. A stop sign that hasn't been used since like Raven, like when he had the Hardcore Championship. I don't think I've ever seen it since then. Signs in general are always kind of funky because you like hit them and it makes that weird sound. I guess I would move the hockey stick down and I'll put that there. Next up is the table. I mean, it's one of the only weapons that gets cheered for all the time. It has to be in the goated. A tennis racket, that kind of seems lame as hell. I'm gonna go put that in trash. Thumbtacks, another one that's just goaded. I mean, anytime they pull out the thumbtacks, you know somebody's in for a really long night. Next up, we got the toolbox. Now, the toolbox honestly is nasty. That ripped open, what is it, Drew McIntyre's head during that CM Punk thing. I think I would move the barbed wire down, and I think I'd move that up into the grate because it is pretty brutal. Trash can, I also feel like it's kind of goaded. It's not anything crazy, but like you do, like I remember watching a lot of that hardcore title wrestling back then, and that was such a iconic thing. It was a trash can inside the shopping cart and stuff. So I think it's up there. And the umbrella is absolute trash. It just sounds terrible. I feel like we got to move some stuff. I guess we would move maybe this because it's kind of odd. I guess I'd move the cattle prawn down just because it feels brutal, but like also, um, it's kind of just crazy to even think about it as a weapon. But yeah, I feel pretty good with this list. Tell me what you guys think. I honestly, some of this is just nostalgia value of like seeing these weapons growing up, so I like them more than other weapons. But man, I wouldn't want to take any of these to the head, to be honest. Maybe the sock puppet, maybe the tennis racket. Those don't seem too bad. Obviously, the turret ones are not either, but a lot of these I'd probably be like, no, thank you. But until next time, it's been Japan. Bye, guys.